solar coaster. Come along for the ride, yeah. The solar coaster's rolling, it feels so right. Hop on the solar coaster. Come along for the ride.
My guest is Michael O'Donnell, the co-founder and vice president of sales for Sun Solar Solutions and the author of the award-winning book, No Matter What, Even If Your Ass Falls Off. Thanks for being here today, Michael. So tell us a little bit. I read your book and it was wonderful. I maybe just want to get right out there and start door knocking. Talk to us a little bit about what the vision was from the book and why you decided that now was the time to write it.
Yeah, I and thank you very much for reading the book. It's funny, and I know you've recently written the book. And when you are in the process of writing a book, it's you want to get it done. You can picture it being on shelves. What you don't picture is someone coming up to you and knowing a lot about you because they read your book, and it's a real rewarding, but almost a little bit frightening experience. Someone that you don't know at all really knows a good deal about you. So. I had a lot of feedback as I experienced the success that I've experienced in selling solar, selling, over 2.5 million watts of solar in 17, and then again in 18, and between 2 and 3 million watts of solar in 19 and 20, and year after year after year, generating a 7-figure income. I had a lot of requests to come and share and talk, and really specifically said, you need to write a book about this. And I think I had this vague idea, Needy, that I would write a book sometime in my life. I'm a big book reader. My pride and joy is my bookcase. I have about 1,000 books in a bookcase of books, that most of which I've read. And I have this ladder. It's a bookcase that has a ladder that's like, the guy who built that for me was saying, if we couldn't possibly have this many books, if we didn't make this bookcase quite so high, we wouldn't need this ladder. I'm like, no, dude, you don't understand. I have saved all these books, so I would build a bookcase someday that has a ladder, right? So to be the author of a book is kind of been this vague idea, but to specifically experience something that I had a bunch of people say, dude, you really need to write a book about this. And so it was exciting to do it and to have had it come out and be a bestseller and get an opportunity to sign copies for people that are about to read it. It's been just super exciting.
That's amazing. And so you just launched a Spanish version, is that correct?
Yes. So No Matter What is the English version. And as you said, there's a little asterisk, funny part there that says, even if your ass falls off. And I'll kind of tell you a little bit of story if you want to about where that comes from. But the subtitle of the book is The Recipe. It's a recipe book, and it's a recipe to generating a 7-figure income selling and in sales. And there's quite a bit in it also about solar and the solar sales. So it's a bit of a solar primer, if you will. It's got some of the concepts and the tactics and the philosophies and the strategies, some of the big ideas that are counterintuitive to a lot of people that are in sales and to many people that are selling solar. So that was the subtitle, but the asterisk comes from, and what the book is about is a story. It's my story. Incorporating this recipe, starting with 2 rooms of old guys. Guys that, well, I say old, I mean guys that look like me, right? I'm 19 years old, and I find 2 rooms of old guys. One, I've been sort of mandated to, if you will. I'm in quite a bit of trouble. I've managed to screw up my life. I'm about to lose my full scholarship to a private university, about to be sent to jail. And I get it in my head, maybe a judge will be lenient on me if he knows I'm going to 12-step meetings. So I start going to 12-step meetings, and I gather, I probably also need to stop using alcohol and drugs. And so these old guys tell me how to do it. And it's really, really simple. Now, they didn't say it was going to be easy, but they said it was going to be really, really simple. And the answer is go to 90 meetings in 90 days. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, but you have to go no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter what the issue is. You're going to go to a meeting every day, no matter what. Like, I think I can do that if I can get these guys off my back and free myself from all this trouble I've managed to get into myself into. And they say, oh, wait, hold on. There's a catch. The catch is 2 things. One, you have to go every day, no matter what. And that means even if your ass falls off, pick it up, take it to a meeting. And that's where that asterisk comes from. It's supposed to be a little bit funny. And then, oh, by the way, there's a catch. Here's the catch. you got to not drink in between meetings and not take any drugs in between meetings. So like, oh, that makes it still as simple, but nowhere near as easy. It's not easy for somebody who's managed to get themselves into that much trouble drinking and using. I'm 19 years old. I'm in college. I'm, sort of having the time of my life, but really what I'm doing is ruining my life because of the consequences. I don't know, and I find out, just got alcohol, and I'm a criminal and a jerk and a guy who caused a lot of trouble, problems and trouble. So that was the first room of old guys. Now that I'm not drinking every day, and I'm starting to say, what am I probably need a job. I'm also going to school, and I just answer an ad. And you might be old enough, Anna, to remember this, but people who are my age will remember that when you needed a job, you bought a newspaper and you went to the very, very back couple of pages, which were the classified ads. And then you went to Help Wanted. And that's what I did. I had been on the phone selling stuff since I was 12. And I had my first real job probably at 15 years old. I'm on the phone selling tickets to the policeman's ball. And I later learned out that if you've got a phone job, you make more money when you're selling a $10,000 home improvement than when you're selling a $20 ticket to the policeman's ball. So I migrate over to home improvements. I'm in college. I need a job. I'm going to meetings. I'm newly sober. And I wander into this place. I get hired as a setter. And I'm on the phone, smile and dial, and I'm setting appointments for, what is this thing again? It's a solar water heater? Okay. It's a solar system. I'm getting people to go solar, but at the time there's no PV electric. This is 1983, 1984. There's no PV electric solar. There's just solar water heaters. And so I'm on the phone. I'm a setter. And then I wandered into a room with a bunch of old guys, and they were putting on a training on how to sell that system. And I sat down in the back of the room and I listened how to do it. At the end of the meeting, I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. And I go to the phone room, get a lead off the wall, get an appointment off the wall, go run the appointment, show that to them. It's a compelling presentation. There's just after the big energy crisis that we had in the 70s. The world's a little upside down because of high inflation and super high interest rates. Any of that sound familiar? Any of that sound like, yeah, holy smokes. Fast forward to, 2020 COVID and 2021, 22 we're at. So high interest rates, high inflation, energy crisis, super compelling presentation. And they said, guaranteed they're going to want it when you bring them through this slide deck, which a slide deck at the time was an 8x11 3-ring binder with flip put in the little plastic cellophane, right? That was a slide deck. I bring them through the slide deck. They're going to want it. And the guy says, but here's the thing. They're always going to want it, but they're going to want to do it on a different day. They're going to want you to come back on a different day. For some reason, there's going to be a really good reason why they can't do it today. They need to do it on a different day. And here's the thing. When that happens, here's what you do. And then they taught me how to close a sale. Somebody who sold, but not closed. And that selling process is so compelling. Most people are sold, but getting them to sit down and do the paperwork that takes a whole different skill set. That skill set's called closing. They taught me how to do that. So that was the combination. And that's the story that I wrote about in my book, meeting those guys that showed me how to not drink one day at a time, not go from 0 to 1 every single day. Just don't go from 0 to 1. 1 is too many and 1,000 is never enough. And then another room of old guys that knew how to do a very compelling solar presentation, but more importantly, they knew how to close. These were old aluminum siding salesmen, tin men. Everybody's seen the movie Glengarry Glen Ross. You've probably seen that movie, right? Put down that coffee. Coffees for closers. Fun movie, great memes. But if you really want to know the life of a door-to-door home improvement salesman, which solar is a door-to-door home improvement program, if you want to know the ins and outs and really see the antics involved in having that career, watch the movie Tin Men with Danny DeVito and Richard Dreyfuss. So these guys were tin men and they knew how to do it. They taught me how to do it. When I experienced the solar tax credits ending and my college career was about IT, I spent the next 25 years in the IT world. I'm in sales. I sell mainframes, then networks. Then I'm selling communications and fiber optic infrastructure. At the end, I'm selling cloud networking, cloud computing infrastructure. When I make the trend, I see these solar systems going up on roofs like hotcakes. I'm like, dude, I know how to sell those things. And that's when I met my partners Al and Troy, and got into the solar. That was 2015. And so the book is a story about what happened for me. And one of the breakthroughs was really understanding. I had some great results, but up and down like lots of salespeople. And coming to an understanding that the same thing that made me successful in that one room where you don't go from 0 to 1 every day with alcohol and drugs, I needed to employ that same simple concept where instead you do go from 0 to 1 every day with knocking on a door, picking up the phone, calling somebody, reaching out, talking to someone who's not yet a customer and going, hey, I sell solar. Can I get you a free quote? Hopefully in a more compelling pitch than that. But that idea of going from 0 to 1 every day and then letting that be the momentum that carries you forward. That's what I learned how to do. That's what the book's about. That's what my training academy, MOD Sales Academy, is about. That's what I'm doing every single solitary day with the people that work for me at Sun Solar Solutions, is I'm teaching them, one, what to do when they get there, but more importantly, how to get there every day. How can you get yourself up to bat 3 or 4 times a day, make 3 or 4 presentations a day, and close most of them, over 50% of them. You're going to have to be really good at it. You're going to have to be a great closer. But most importantly, you're going to have to be in motion, doing the things that cause you to be at bat every day, 3 or 4 times a day, and come up with a batting average that puts you into 7-figure results. Luckily, in solar, if you do those things, you're going to end up making a 7-figure income. That's just what this job pays.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of your book, was just the concept of that you're actually being paid for no, right? I think that was really compelling to me, that, because the disappointment, and it does dawn on you, right? And how many rejections can you get? But when you start to frame it as, hey, you got your money in your pocket and you just made $50 because of that no, and that's what you're out there looking for no's, because eventually you're going to get that ank with the $3,000 in it. And if it was easy, everyone would do it.
I call it a direct marketing. When I'm recruiting folks off of, ads and Indeed ads and people who come through my social media and I'm talking to them, I call it a direct marketing position. And folks that don't do well in the direct marketing job end up doing business with your firm because they're willing to pay almost any amount of money to be up to bat without having to knock on those cold doors. And so they're doing the traditional marketing, the new marketing, the digital marketing, all of the things that you and your firm specialize in at Covert Communications. Why? Because I'll be honest with you, even with my training, even with my being on my call every single solitary day, I do a daily call at 8 o'clock in the morning designed to get people from 0 to 1. Boom, get momentum going every single day. Why? Because it dies every single night. And hesitancy, the resistance to getting yourself out onto a door, knocking on it, boom, it opens up, and you're going to talk and they're going to talk. And 9 times out of 10, that's going to result in them saying, no, thank you. And for some reason, and I know why, for some reason, most humans experience that as rejection. And when your job is to experience rejection 30, 40, 50 times a day so that you can find 3 or 4 people a day that say, well, yeah, sure. I'm not telling you I'm going to buy it, but I mean, I'll take a look. Right. Why would I not just take a look? That amount of rejection takes people out of this game within hours, within days, let alone weeks or months. And I understand what that feeling is because, unfortunately, and I got some really bad news for those who decide, I want to try, I want to do this, I want to make $1 million a year. That feeling does not go away. I would love to tell you that you get to a point and it's just fun and it's just easy. You do get there every day after you've been in 3 or 4 conversations and you've kind of knocked the cobwebs off and you've overcome this mountain of resistance. Well, now that you've got momentum going, now you're just rolling downhill, but you have to overcome it literally every day. And that's the tough part. That's what I work with people, how to set up a series of behaviors and rituals and habits and mindset so that you're realizing you're not experiencing rejection. That's not rejection. I mean, even if it is looking like rejection, like say you were to go to someone invited you to go to the college dance, right? And you go to the dance or the high school dance and you ask 30 people, hey, would you like to dance? And 27 of them say, no, you're ugly. No, you're ugly. That's kind of what it feels like when you knock on doors and people are, well, and you're experiencing people going, there's someone at my door. What do you want? That kind of feels like you're at a dance again. Would you like to dance? So they go, no, you're ugly. Now, first of all, almost no one says you're ugly, right? If you ask 30 people to dance, probably with more than 3 or 4 would say, you know, what the heck, you are ugly, but I'll dance with you. But no one would say, no, you're ugly. What they would say is, no, thank you. And that's what people say at the door. We knock on their door and we're like, hey, we're the solar guy in the neighborhood. I've only got a minute. I'm just, I don't have anything for you today. I just want to introduce you. I was just here to drop off a card. Is that okay? Can I just drop off my card? Okay, good. You got my card. By the way, the reason I stop by when I'm, super busy, this solar thing is off the hook. We had 3 million people go solar already. There's another 30 million that are going solar in just the next few years. I'm super, super busy. I just wanted to drop off a card and let you know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. And then getting into a conversation with, listen, I'm not kidding. I do have to go. But I can come back with a 3-page proposal, and it'll show me all the things you'll need to know to figure out if this solar thing's worth it for you. Not everybody qualifies. Not everybody has the right roof. Not everybody's going to get told yes by the city or by the utility or by the bank. So it's really a process to see if you qualify. 1, what will it do? 2, do you qualify? And then 3, is this something you want to pull the trigger on? It's a process. It all starts with you knowing what these numbers are. I'm going to go get these numbers. I'm not asking your permission. I'm going to know the numbers. It's my job to know the numbers. If I'm looking at it and it's awesome, and by awesome, I mean, we could make you at least a 6-figure dollar amount. People are really struggling in solar because everybody thinks selling solar is about knocking on doors going, hey, go solar. It's cheaper. Hey, go solar. We'll save you $50 a month. Is anybody really going to buy a $50,000 thing to save $50 a month? That's not the thing, but that they think that's the thing. And so that's one of the reasons that they're struggling. But if I'm looking at this thing, and I'm not talking about savings, I'm talking about a profit. If we could make you a 6-figure profit, most of our customers make somewhere between $50,000 and $250,000. If I can't make you at least $100,000, I'm not wasting my time. I'm just going to send you a thumbs down emoji. But if I could make you like $100,000, like, I mean, you'd want to see it, which,
Oh yeah, absolutely,
man. I mean, you'd look, right? Come on.
Yeah.
You'd look, wouldn't you, Anna?
You'd send a private look. I just twice. I got 2 sisters in my roof.
If I got $100,000 of your money here, I mean, could you possibly say no to looking?
It'd be pretty silly, Marion.
If I had it right here, could you possibly cause yourself to not look if I was going to show it to you? Could you refuse to look? What's the answer to that?
No, never.
No, thank you very much. I was here to get a no. Now I have a no. No, you couldn't possibly refuse to take a look how I'm going to get you $100,000 of money extra to retire for. So getting people to learn how to do that and then inspiring them in spite of the fact that they're going to feel like they're getting their face kicked in is, it's a monumental, it's a monumental achievement to get out there every day and get to one door and that first door. The second door, no sweat. Third door, now it's easy. Down playing around with that.
Then you bring your daughter with you so that you can be a superhero, right? I like
That's right.
Strategy as well. So
people don't think they're good at remoting.
So you have this MOD Academy. How many subscribers, how many people are tuning in every day?
Well, you know how they also say many are chosen, but few choose, right? So many pay for the mastermind. A fraction of them show up every day, but on any given day, there's 50 to 100 people that are in this mastermind every day. And there's, hundreds and hundreds that are subscribed, and people come for a while and then stop and then come back and go, wow, I thought I could kind of do this without having to be in this meeting every day, but I found out that didn't work. And so they come back. But yeah, literally there's about, anywhere from 50 to 100 people on this mastermind every day. And then once a week, it's another call that's actual training, how to do the door pitch, how to do the presentation, how to close, how to overcome objections, how to do the things that you are going, what is the skill set items that you need to do?
And how have you marketed your book and MRT Academy?
So primarily through my social media. So I have a marketing firm that I've used for that. I've talked about that. And so there's some marketing involved, but most of my book sales have come through social media, and then people either buying them directly from me or buying them from Amazon. And my book is primarily targeted so far currently at that solar market. It's been out for a couple of years and it's sold about 10,000 copies to, I would say probably 80-90% of those are folks in the solar market. So they're following me on social media. They see me speak at SolarCon and D2D-Con and the different solar conferences and stuff.
Well, I was very impressed when I went to SolarCon last year to see the line of people waiting to take their photo with you. And I was like, wow, yeah, it was very, very inspiring. So, talk to us, what do you think the biggest challenges that are facing the residential solar sales industry?
Well, the entire industry is in a massive, massive slump right now. So the public companies' stock prices are down 80%. We're talking Sunrun, SunPower, SunNova. Those companies literally have lost 80% of their stock price in the last year and a half, 2 years or so. Solar, and why is that? Because solar sales are, even though there's never been a better time to sell solar and a more compelling proposal presentation to buy solar, solar sales are down, and that's because of an intended on-purpose recession. And so the government spent $10 trillion trying to make COVID feel like a holiday and a vacation. And at the end result of that, all items that you could, a Ford F-150 to a dozen, you couldn't find the things that you wanted to get. And so massive supply of cash sloshing around, and the items that people wanted were in zero supply. And so the price of items spiked way up. And so we've had this natural, and we already have natural inflation all the time. That never goes away. Then you have an unnatural thing, which is $10 trillion landing on an economy. And then this other unnatural thing where every supply chain on planet Earth was broken. And all of a sudden now people can't get stuff. And so the prices of stuff literally skyrocket. People don't recognize the bill when it comes. It's like, you're at Wendy's and you get just a number 4 meal, and you're going through the thing and you're expecting it to be $7 or $8, or you used to be, right? And it's $14. You're like, what? How in the world can a Wendy's number 4 meal be $14? That doesn't make sense. And you're in Vegas and you have a cocktail, and you're expecting a bill for 2 cocktails to be $20 and it's $60. And you're like, what is going on here? Nothing looks the way it should. So we've had this unnatural surge of inflation that's responding to this unnatural supply of money and supply chains being broken. And then you add on top of it the fact that the government fixes inflation by increasing interest rates dramatically. And that's really what's happened in the solar world in a nutshell, is that we were a year and a half ago selling solar with 0.99 interest rates. Right. And that was producing an electric bill, a solar bill of $139. And now all of a sudden, we're selling that with about 6.49 interest rates, right? And both of those were, promotional rates and stuff. But that 0.99 rate is the same now as the 6.49 rate. And what does that mean? That means the cost of that solar bill isn't 139, it's 179 or whatever that is. And now instead of it being, $30, $40, $50 cheaper than them paying their electric bill, their solar bill plus their remaining $20, $30, whatever that is, electric bill from the utility for being connected to the grid is about what they're saying now. And you have stupid salespeople coining a phrase that I can't imagine uttering. It's a bill swap. Hey, do you want to sign up for solar and get a bill swap? Like, bro, solar was never, like, if you're buying a $50,000 thing so that you can make enough money to go to Applebee's once a month, if the money, enough money to go to Applebee's once a month is causing you to or not to buy a $50,000 thing, you're just completely missing the boat. Luckily, the homeowners didn't miss the boat. You were selling solar because it was cheaper. It had nothing to do with being cheaper. It has to do with a superior financial strategy that's literally going to rescue you from profound cataclysmic consequences if you don't get a handle on what energy costs and you just ride this crazy train of what they're going to cost on purpose by the government with this new kind of inflation, and then deciding we're going to pay for 30% of everybody's solar panels. How are we going to pay for those? Oh, easy. We're just going to tax fossil fuels. We're just going to tax coal, and we'll be really happy because we're paying for the solar panels, and coal is going out of business by 2030, right? You're not going to be able to just dig rocks out of the ground, light them on fire, and pass the new EPA emission standards. This Green New Deal includes incentives, but it also includes the stick. And the stick is you cannot burn crap anymore out of the ground. You can't gather firewood or dig rocks or pump sludge out of the ground, light it on fire, and just spew into the atmosphere. Like, how was that ever a thing? Now, when you look at, man, have you ever gone to Europe or something in the last 10 years and there's people smoking next to you and you're like, bro, who smokes in public? What are you doing? Well, that's what we're doing now with fossil fuels. We're just lighting them on fire and we just spew. You know, everyone at home has a water heater and it's on natural gas. What are we doing? We're burning the natural gas in our garage, hoping not enough fumes escape out of that to hurt anybody locally, like local in your house. And then we just spew the fumes out the top of the flue. Like, what's going on there? And we don't even make an attempt to capture some of those fumes. We just spew. And all of a sudden the EPA is going, no. And people think it's like, oh, you can't, they think they're messing with us. Oh, you can't buy gas water heaters and gas stoves and gases. Like, people, that's not fair. That's un-American. It's like, no, you can buy a gas thing and light it, but we're not going to let you spew. So if you want to buy a gas water heater, you got to have some sort of carbon capture. And that's what's happening at power plants. You can light coal on fire if you want to, but you're no longer allowed to spew. That's a law. It's FDA or the EPA. It's new regulations. It's not a proposal. And the carbon capture equipment that is mandated is going to cause the price of that product to go up. It has to. There's no way that it can't. It's going to go up to a point where affording fossil fuels is going to go from $2,000-3,000 a year to $10,000-20,000 a year. It's just going to happen. Fossil fuel kilowatt hours are going to go from where they are now, 20 cents. And by the way, they were 2.5 cents in 1970. And they've doubled every 15 years. For the last 60 years, they've doubled. And now we no longer is dealing with this normal inflation that we've always dealt with, which has caused it to double. Why? Because the price of everything doubles every 15 or 20 years. But now we're dealing with massive inflation and the fact that we got to pay for all these solar panels and the fact that we're going to tax these fossil fuels literally to death with new taxes, new regulations. Man, if we don't get better at explaining this to people and having them figure out, man, I need to get the hell out of the way of this freight train that's going to take me out, they're going to be in big, big trouble. So, you know, how do we get people to understand how to convey all that, right? You're asking me, what's the trouble with the solar industry? The trouble with the solar industry is it doesn't know how to convey this. They have the most valuable product on planet Earth, and sales guys are taught to run around, knock on doors and go, oh, solar, because it's cheaper.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the issue?
You're 100% right. And we really saw that happen in California, like, you know, with this NEM 3.0, and it's the end of solar. And I'm like, guys, you know, here in Hawaii, we haven't had NEM since 2012, basically.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
It didn't end. It just now everyone has to have a battery, right? And the industry is, you know, we're at 30% solar here, and our mission is to be 100% renewable by 2045. But
And there's no such thing as a bad solar guy in California, because every time you turn around and they don't know what they're doing, the utilities increase the prices again. So since NEM 3.0, they've already jacked up the rates again. And now all of a sudden, solar is once again cheaper. In California is the one place where you can always say solar is cheaper. Yeah. But now, why did the most, forward-thinking, green state, liberal state has the most solar? Why did they go from net metering, which is kind of the way solar should be transacted between utility and the grid and the customer? Why did they get rid of that and go to like crazy low, 3-cent buyback prices and things like that? And the answer to that is special interest money. And so as the solar becomes more and more necessary, instead of just a novel, cool idea, they're going to take away a lot of the incentives. Net metering is an incentive. There's no way in hell, if you ask the utility to handle this transaction, they would choose to do it at cost. They would never choose to handle buy, sell, thousands of kilowatt hours and sell it at the same price they buy it. And what's happened in Hawaii, what's happened in Arizona, now in California, is they buy at one number and sell. They buy it from you at one number and sell it back to you at a much higher number. And so if you're in a place that has net metering now and you're not getting solar now, you're going to experience profound regret. And if you're not going solar now, regardless of whatever the metering program is, if you don't take advantage of it now, you will also suffer profound regret.
Indeed. So, real quick before we end, tell us about your new book that's coming out and what the topic is and when we can expect to see on the shelves.
It's more directed at the consumer to have them understand this concept. Right now, we're talking to industry insiders, and I'm constantly talking to solar salespeople. But this concept that the government has decided that the price of fossil fuels is going up, and they're doing it on purpose. One, to fund the Green New Deal, and then two, the Green New Deal is going to just make it, absurd, the price absurd. And so what homeowners don't know, and what like Detroit just figured out, because Goldman Sachs just figured out the new law, figured out the Green New Deal, and they went to Detroit and said, hey guys, you got to come up with a plan now to stop manufacturing gasoline engines in the next 10 years. I'm standing in front of a Tesla charging device, right? Tesla is actually one of my partners in the solar business. We sell Tesla inverters. We sell Tesla batteries. We have a great partnership with this company, but this company understands that they're in the space, they're where the puck is going. And so, 85% of the cars manufactured today are gasoline engines. That number is going to zero in 10 years, less than 10 years. 2034, it's projected to be zero. And so, Goldman Sachs has told Detroit, hey guys, no one's going to be buying fossil fuels in 10 years. Why? Because the price is going to double, and then it's going to double again. No one's buying this stuff. You need to convert to selling electric cars. Plans in place. It's happening. Fossil fuel cars, gasoline powered cars won't be illegal. They'll just be too expensive to actually operate, and no one will buy them. And so good financial minds have told industries, billionaires, this is what's coming. You need to come up with a game plan. I want to help consumers come up with that same idea, communicate that idea. And like me at a door, I'm not necessarily there with good news. It's just not good news. You would rather be told, you're fine, you're good, you don't need to do anything. And what am I doing? I'm at your door saying, you need to make a change or you're doomed. And so the title of the book is Go Green or Else. And it's about the future, promise, and the threat of the Green New Deal. You're either going to embrace this and let go of our caveman idea where we burn stuff that we gather to make all our energy. We're either going to let go of that so that we can receive abundant, limitless, and free energy, by the way. Why is this a hard proposition? It doesn't even make sense that this is hard to convey to people, but the book is going to be targeted at the consumer. So they really kind of get the same benefit that Detroit's getting from Goldman Sachs, from the industry experts that understand what this is about and can give them a heads up. Hey, you really need to get on this Go Green thing or literally suffer at your peril.
Yeah. I mean, I heard a new statistic, before elder people, right, retirement, the only thing that doesn't change as you age is your income. And they were making these decisions between food or medication, right? And now with the cost of power being so excessive and unmanageable, now they're choosing between power and medications, right?
It's not excessive now. It's just, it's inconveniently and annoyingly expensive. It's going to become excessive. And that's what people don't know. And that's what's our job to convey. Our job is to convey that.
Indeed. Well, when is the book coming out?
I'm going to have it done hopefully before, but by SolarCon 2025. I released my last book at SolarCon 2022, and I'm looking to release that book at SolarCon 2025.
Well, that is very exciting. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Michael. To learn more about Sun Solar Solutions, you can visit them at sunsolarsolutions.com. And to connect with Michael, you can visit him at LinkedIn. And also you can find links to his book on outofcovert.com with this podcast.
Awesome. Right. And if anybody wants to connect with me, they can just get on social media as well. And that's Michael O'Donnell Sales. And you'll see some other podcasts and some, if you get on YouTube at that same handle, you'll see actual live conversations with customers and industry folks about this. And I hope that helps folks get on with them going solar, or if they're in the business, helping others go solar.
Yes, it sure will. It's been very insightful. So thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you, Anna. I got to tell you, just the last thing I just got to tell you, one more thing. It's such a delight to do business with your company, Covert Communications. We've been doing, in addition to our block and tackle, knocking on doors, we've been using Anna Covert for a long time. For our, what I call digital door knocking, right? So we do both. When people ask me what I do everything. I do Facebook, I do Google, I knock on doors, I do old world postcards, anything I can think of that will help me connect with the customer. And it's been an absolute pleasure having Anna run our marketing through her covert communications. It's just been wonderful, and we've been happy customers, and we've connected with lots of new customers for us.
Thank you so much for that feedback.
Absolutely. You bet.
Hop on the solar coaster, come along for the ride. Yeah, the solar coaster